class today, Leilu Nishma, Devorah Fege Bat Shemuel, Ora Devorah Bat Shemuel, Leah Bat Yosef, and Esther Rivka Bat Avraham. I would like also to dedicate a shiur for Refuah Shlema of the great Chacham, Rabbi Meshulam David Halevi Ben Vlolte Ha'endil, Rabbi Soloveitchik in Eretz Israel, that unfortunately is in a very delicate condition. One of the big Gedolim that we have in our generation. So we're praying for his refuah shalema and dedicating the shiur as well for his promptly recovering. Rabotai, before I start, I just would like to share with you, a lot of people came up, especially visitors, regarding the hurricane that is approaching us. We spoke many times. Number one, about the concept of whatever happens in the world, we have to look behind the scenes. What is exactly the message that we want? I was sitting last night with Rabbi Galimidi, and we were talking about many things, and then he shows me the famous picture that is being published now with the hurricane, and he said, you see the shofar over here? Mamash, at the beginning of Chodesh Elul, to be mitorer, to wake up, and to understand that there is a message behind every single thing that happened in the world, especially for Am Yisrael. So, not to panic, to prepare yourself correctly with water, with batteries, with flashlights, and Be'ezrat Hashem, everything is going to be okay. Praying to HaKadosh Baruch Hu that no damage will happen to anyone in the world, Be'ezrat Hashem. I would like to share with you an amazing story that I think it can get also connected to our parasha, but it's something that can help to each one of us. This story, I think, happened around in the 1998, something like that, around that year. Here in America, there was, in the mountains, in the Catskills, I think it was, a rabbi that went for vacation to those mountains. And those mountains, they have already minyanim, they have, everything was organized. And this rabbi realized that there is one man, one fellow, that, he sees him not so calm, he sees him sad, he sees him with... So he decides to approach him. And he tells him, Yehudi, I see your face, you're not happy, what's going on? And this Yehudi started to cry. And he tells him, listen, Rabbi, what can I tell you? He got a very bad news about a terrible disease. And this disease is a terminal disease. There is no chance for him to live. The doctors are not giving any chance. And he says to himself, why I have to suffer so much? And what's the whole purpose? And the rabbi said that he didn't know how to answer. He didn't know what to tell him. Until he remembered the story, true story. And this story changed the life of this fellow. The story goes like this. There was a famous musician master. And this maestro, this musician, was already old, and someone from the news decided to go to him and to ask him all type of questions about the music. He got that day to speak with him, and this maestro is telling him, listen, I have no problem to sit with you today, but I want to tell you that in an hour and a half, I'll have to cut with you. Why? There is a special show, I don't know which country, when there is a whole musical event, and I really want to hear that music. We're talking about classic music. Fine, they were sitting. The hour and a half passed very quick, and then the maestro tells him, I'm sorry, I have to stop over here. I have to hear the show. There is a radio, and I have to hear, and I have to be concentrated. Tells him, no problem. But just do me a favor. There is any possibility that I will be together with you? I promise I'm not going to bother you. I promise I'm going to be sitting with you quiet. I just want to see how such a professional hears the music. He accepted. And they're both sitting right next to the radio, hearing the music, hearing that show. In that show, there was a huge, huge concert. They had, I don't know how many violinists, how you call it? Violinists? How you call it? Violinists, and pianos, and trumpets, and whatever you can imagine, they have it. Huge concert. And the concert starts, and there is over 2 hours concert. 2 hours. Hazid, the young fellow that came, he dry himself already, but he promised he's not going to bother. Really, the 2 hours are passing. At the end of the 2 hours, you hear from the radio everybody standing up and clapping, and what a concert. They finish up, and the young guy that came from the news, he tells the maestro, he tells him, "No, amazing, huh? Unbelievable." And the maestro looks at him and he tells him, "It was terrible. I never heard such a terrible concert like this one." So what terrible? I heard it together. It was amazing. All the tunes and all the... He says, "Listen, let me tell you one thing. That song was supposed to have 20 violinists. And there were 19. And because there were 19, they ruined the whole thing." And the young guy looks at the maestro and he tells him, "How can you know if there were 20 or 19? I'm sorry, how can you know? I heard the whole music together with you. Everything was perfect. I don't believe you." Tells him, "Listen, you can check it out. I'm telling you there were 19 instead of 20. He decided to check. And the answer was correct. One of the fellows that they were supposed to play, he had an accident in his way, and he wasn't able to make it. And they had to play only 19 violinists. So he came back to the maestro and he asked him, "How did you know? I mean, what? Explain to me how. I mean, I heard it together with you." And he told him, "Listen, every single one that is in that concert, he had a special tune that he had to make. So regular people, they just hear the global tune, and it's nice. But people that understand, they understand that if this man is playing in that concert, it's not because we need more people, it's because we need another extra tune that is going to make the whole song different." And if he's missing, no one can make that tune besides him. So the rabbi told this story to this guy that was sick. And he told him, "Listen, every single person that is in this world, he have his own tune. And the tune that he have is a unique tune, no one else can do it. And doesn't matter what is the situation, I want you to know that every single day that you're still alive, you have to do to make that tune. Because without that tune, the world cannot be the same." Rabotai, the rabbi and the Yehudi, each one went to his home. They separated themselves. A few years passed, and the rabbi heard the terrible news that this Yehudi passed away. And he came to be Menachem Avenim. And when he got to the house, sitting Shiv'ah, one of the sons saw the rabbi and he told him, "I want to tell you something. You remember that summer? You remember that message that he gave to our father? I want to tell you that from that day and on, every single day was walking with his Gemara, sitting down and learning Torah. And when he was coming back home, with all the pain and whatever he was suffering, he was with a smile saying, I'm giving my special tune to Borei Olam. Rabotai, this week's parasha starts, like we mentioned yesterday, Re'e anochi noten lifnechem hayom. Singular word, Re'e, look, and then plural. Say Chachamim, why? I want you to learn that even if there are so many people, 7 billion human beings in this world, and when you walk in Manhattan, you feel lost, you feel another, who I am, nobody. I want you to understand, Re'eh, you're still a special one, singular one, that only you can make the special tune that this world needs. It says the Gemara, Keshem shepartzufeim shonim, the same way that their faces are different, kach deoteim shonot. The same thing, their mind are different, their goals are different. Every single one have to know that we are special. You are special, I am special, and we have to do all our effort to take our potential and to do it till the end. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen ve'amen.